Yeah, but what do you mean Kanye was right about the Jews? Hey everyone, welcome back to Buffalo Boys. I am Ryan, that is Todd. We have so much to get to this week, but as always, we have to thank our sponsors. We are brought to you first by the good folks at Mattress Blacks. This week, Buffalo Boy listeners who use promo code KurtThuggins at checkout can get 10% off their first mattress purchase. And as always, at Mattress Blacks, you can get a king-size mattress that's good for your back.
I got a king-size mattress that's good for your back.
We are also brought to you by our friends at Boards Golf Emporium. Black Friday is right around the corner, Todd, and it's also known at Boards as Green Thumb Friday. They've got tons of deals that Friday after Thanksgiving, so make sure to stop by and check them out. Again, that is Boards Golf Emporium. Week 11, as I mentioned, Todd, I am officially the lone owner at the top of Mount West Park, looking high above Park Arbor, Park Scene, all of the park streets, staring right into the Burger King at 55. It's a beautiful view. I wish you could see it, Todd. Of course, before we begin, how are you doing, and what are you sipping on?
Thanks, Ryan. I'm doing well. No complaints here. My fantasy team, not as well. My real life team, a little bit better, but personally, I'm doing great. How about you? What's new in your life?
Well, I'm about to close on my first home purchase tomorrow. Very excited. It will probably be in the past when this podcast actually comes out, but yeah, big adult life events happening here. So
that's really impressive. I'm stoked for you.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Your wife is supposed to be helping me decorate from afar. At least I promised her that job, so.
I know she's excited. She's been talking about it nonstop.
Wonderful. That's great.
And Ryan, I've got a nice bourbon for us this week. I bought a new bottle. I'd finished off another one with some guests in town, and so I had room for a new bottle. I got Wolcott Bottled and Bond. It's a Kentucky straight bourbon. I've had one glass. It's been good so far. I'm excited to have some more. And what about you? What you got?
That's awesome. I'm a hydro homie today, drinking water out of this Christmas mug that I got at Goodwill. One of my favorites, a creepy Santa overlooking a sleeping child. You just have to see it to believe it. It's insane. But yeah, I actually bought like a lot of beer yesterday too. I plan on drinking it. I just got off of work and I've got some more work things to do after this. But after that tonight, yeah, we're going to be diving into some heavy Imperial Stout, so really looking forward to it.
I'm really pumped for Black Friday with the release of the new Bourbon County brand stout and a couple special J. Wakefield beers in their annual cellar sale that you had alerted me to. So I'm really pumped to get my hands on some new stouts, maybe an IPA or two.
Dude, I'm excited for you. I am not going to be in town for Thanksgiving. I'm going to be away. I'm hoping the place that I'm at has a good bottle store that is going to be having a Goose Island Black Friday. I will be really sad if I cannot celebrate this year, but very happy for you. Looking forward to seeing what bottles you get. And with that, we are going to do things a little bit differently here on Buffalo Boys. We're actually starting off with transaction review. Todd, you pulled up the transactions that we had and waiver moves on Tuesday. Tell us your thoughts. Tell us what happened.
After last week's snoozer, Ryan, it was an eventful waiver wire week this week. Leading the pack was the bid for Christian Watson following his breakout performance. Tons of money bid on Christian Watson this week. Mims bid an astronomical $61, and yet it was the perfect bid, $3 higher than the next bid. All in all, there were 5 large bids here ranging from $27 to $61. As a Packers fan, Ryan, I'm excited for his future, but I don't trust him just yet. He started the game with 2 big drops. Fortunately, those were overshadowed by his 3 touchdown performance. And even though he did have the 3 touchdowns, a lot of those were just body catches. Like if you go back and look at the film, he just holds his arms out in a basket and just hopes the ball falls into it. Fortunately, Rodgers can drop it in there perfectly. So with that, unless if he learns some new technique, I'm just not confident that he'll continue this. I can see some more drops in his future and some disappointment for his new fantasy owner, Mims. Mims also had another stealthy win on the waiver wire this week. with a bid of $26 for Jerick McKinnon. He outbid Adler and I at $24 and $20 respectively. Ryan, I don't know if Mims got someone to hack into our bids or how he did it, but his waiver wire moves this week earned him the Quality Control Coach of the Week. Speaking of me losing to Mims, I also just barely got outbid for Elijah Mitchell. Adler snagged him for $42 against my $37 failed bid. And last up on the waiver, AJ wanted to join in on the fun and blew $38 on Slayton. Ryan, you also had an excellent bid on the Bengals D at $6, just edging out Rick at $5. And for that, I thank you playing him this week.
Yeah, thank you, Todd. Really glad I picked up the Bengals, even though they're playing my Steelers. I'm going to talk about that game a little later. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing that I'm picking them up. Anyway, we'll talk about it later. And good to hear about Quality Control Coach of the Week. As always, if there's a quality control coach, there has to be a clown coach or a clown owner. Who's your pick this week?
While Nixon led the way with points left on the bench this week, he's still got to win. So this week, the clown is Mike Simpson. He left 6 crucial points on the bench. You know, Ryan, if he had listened to us last week when we gave our prediction on Rachaad White and started him, he would have won. Instead, he is the clown who started 2 tight ends, all but eradicating his playoff hopes.
Yeah, that was tough. Mike is now one of 2 teams that are officially eliminated from the playoff hunt, him and Neil. 0% chance of making the playoffs, according to ESPN. Also, I just have to shout you and Nixon out. Great picks on the Rachaad pick, him getting more yards and more touches than Fournette. I don't know how you guys knew, but it happened. So congratulations on that.
We did have a little help with an injury to Fournette. That was, I think, in the second half, though. So I'm going to still hold that as a win for us.
Absolutely, as you should. Moving on, it is bold prediction recap. As you might remember, Todd, I put an extra week on my bold prediction from week 9, where I said George Pickens and Chase Claypool would both have touchdowns in their new elevated roles. That was slightly premature. Obviously, the Steelers had a bye week in week 9. Now that they were both back, I got half of that pick right. George Pickens did get a touchdown last week for the Steelers in their win against the Saints. It was a rushing touchdown. I'm still counting it. However, Chase Claypool has done absolutely nothing with the Bears. He didn't have a very good scoreline in his first game. He had an even worse scoreline this week. 1 catch, 8 yards, 1.3 fantasy points. Just an absolute dog. Glad we got rid of him. Todd, what was your prediction?
As you alluded to, Ryan, I and coincidentally Nixon predicted that Rachaad White would break out this game and have a strong week. Mine was a little more tempered. I just said that he would get more touches than Fournette, and he did.
Absolutely. Great job once again. Moving on, it is a fan favorite, quick hit stats. And as always, Todd, hit me.
Will do, Ryan, will do. Kyle Pitts is on track to be the first tight end ever to finish with 100-plus targets on a season and yet score less than 8 PPR points per game. He is getting so many targets and no points. On the opposite end of the spectrum, Justin Fields is now on pace for an outrageous 176 carries, 1,273 yards, and 10 rushing touchdowns. And if he was doing this the full season before week 6, when they actually started giving him more designed handoffs, he might have even been able to get to 2,000 yards. Who knows?
Right. And just to remind people, he's a quarterback, which is just...
That one goes out for our international viewers who might not be as familiar with the teams out there. Sticking with Chicago, Cole Kmet is the tight end 2 since week 5. And one more tight end fun fact for you. Since Hawkinson was traded, he has a 21.1% target share compared to Adam Thielen's 15.6. He is slotted right in and is only growing in his target percentage. And Adam Thielen is all but done. Jumping over to the West Park Fantasy League, I, your noble host, was eliminated from the survival pool this week. I know there's going to be some upset survivor pool fantasy players out there. I heard there was a lot of money bet on me. They were inspired by my confidence in the weekly wager, and I'm sorry I let you guys down. I truly am. I appreciate your confidence. Next year, we'll be back stronger than ever. That leaves us down to Nix and Ryan, Dave and Rick. ESPN has now ruled out Neil and Mike from playoff contention. Mike Hoyle took over as the luckiest team this week with one more win than expected on the season. Mike Simpson extended his poor luck and now has 1.62 less wins than expected. There's only one team with less than 1,000 optimal points. Neil. Come on, Neil. Ryan, you currently lead the league with 1,090.68 drafted points this season compared to Mike Simpson in last with only 678.36 drafted points. Look, facts are facts. Not saying Mike had a bad draft, just some bad injuries, but also highlighting your dominant performance. And that's it for our quick hits this week.
Awesome. Thanks for that, Todd. Moving on, matchup rundown review. I had a great week, Todd. I went 5-2 with my picks last week. I'm now 41-29. I feel like I'm kind of running away with this. How did you do last week?
Ryan, I'm just glad that we don't have any money on this because the train is off the tracks for me, and I put up another 2-win week. I think that is in the last 4 weeks I've had 3-1, 2, and 2 wins, and that just really diminishes my 6-4-2, 5-5 start to the season. That leaves me at 34-36 on the season with an uphill battle against you.
Well, sorry about that, Todd. Better luck this week. And speaking of this week, it is matchup rundown. We are going to start with Doug versus Mims. Mims picked up a quarterback as of today. He now has Jimmy G at QB. It was pretty slim pickings. I guess Jimmy G is an okay pick. I can't recall now who the Niners are playing, but it doesn't matter. Doug is definitely winning this game. What are your thoughts?
I've got Doug as well. It's going to be a rough week for Mims without all of his Tampa Bay players. And this is a really bad week for a bye week for Mims with the playoffs on the line for him. I'm picking Doug even with all the injured and questionable players he has, mainly because I see really big weeks from Lamar and Barkley. Lamar is going to tear up the Panthers defense, which I think on the season is 20th in defensive DVOA to running and passing. So the defense has gone downhill, and that's going to benefit Doug's team here a lot.
Yeah, sorry, Panther fans. Speaking of Panther fans, it is Nixon versus Jimmy, another 5-5 versus 7-3 matchup. Todd, who you got in this one?
I have to pick Jimmy here, Ryan, since he whines every time I don't. But jokes aside, Nixon has some tough bye weeks with Hill and Lock It Out, and Zeke is back pushing down his Pollard stock. Andrews still has a shoulder injury, so I wouldn't count on him having a dominant performance this week. He's on the tail end of the 3 to 4 week projected performance impact. And honestly, Jimmy just has a good squad. And I guess we don't say that enough because he really wants us to say that. So, Jimmy, I'll say it one more time. You got a good squad. And last on this one is Jimmy leads the all-time series at 8 wins to 6. So I think he's going to extend the lead here this week.
Okay. I'm sure he's glad to hear your confidence in him. I guess I have to be contrarian here. While I think Jimmy has a great team, I just can't overlook the run that Nixon's team has been on. I mean, the score lines that he keeps putting up out of nowhere are insane. I mean, what was it? 3 weeks ago, he recorded the all-time high score in WPFL history. Last week, his team scored over 150 points. I don't know how I know how he's doing it. The team is really good, but I mean, they're really overperforming. I'm taking Nixon here. Absolutely. Moving on, it is me versus Adler. If Kyler plays, I'm a little worried about my chances. But if Adler starts Russ, we're riding, Todd. We're riding to victory. I'm picking myself in this one.
Yeah, Ryan, I've got you as well. Your team keeps finding a way. I don't know how you're doing it. Your current starting lineup is averaging 109 points per game compared to Adler's 103.57. Now, although Adler has dominated the series with 9 wins all time to year 4, I still think that your team is trending well, and Adler's has not been, with 2 straight losses, I believe. So I got to give you the win here.
Thank you, Todd. And not to make this the Ryan show, but I do want to let you know my current lineup is with a kicker on bye, and I'm gonna keep it that way because there's no one I really want to drop from my lineup unless Deion Jackson can be moved to the IR. I'm not going to pick up a kicker. And I still think I can beat Adler. What do you think of that?
Now that's a flex, and I wish I had that same buffer and level of confidence, but I'm scrapping for every point here this week.
Yeah, I get it. Absolutely. Moving on, Mike S. versus AJ. Tell me what you think of this game, Todd.
It looks like a close one. No cup certainly hurts AJ's chances. He got a semi-hot Darius Slayton onto his team, so that might be able to backfill some points. But when you rely on breakout performances from your two top receivers, now it's been a recipe for success so far, but when you rely on that and one goes down, you just can't like those odds. So, and given the history here, Mike has dominated AJ with 13 wins all time to AJ's 5. I have no confidence in AJ this week. And despite what he said in the group chat, I don't think he has confidence in his team either.
Okay. It looks like we're on the same boat here. Mike is obviously one of those teams that has been eliminated from the playoff contention. He's playing for pride now. But if I know anything about this guy, he has a lot of pride. And he is going to make a really impassioned speech in the locker room, and his team is going to go out there and play for him, and they're going to play hard. Also, AJ is starting 2 receivers as of yesterday. Maybe he's made a change today. But AJ is planning on starting 2 receivers, Diggs and Knox, who are going to be playing in 2 feet of snow in Buffalo on Sunday. What? He's not starting them?
They moved the game like an hour ago to Detroit.
What?
Yep.
Oh, fuck. Okay. I have oh my God. Literally the rest of my picks are about the snow game. Oh my God. Okay.
We'll keep it in just so that everyone can experience the tension that we deal with.
Oh, God. Okay. Damn it, man. All right. Okay. Well, I don't know. I don't know then. I guess I'm still picking Mike. There goes my. I don't know. I don't know why they would move a game. You're supposed to watch a game in the snow in Buffalo. That's part of the fun of the NFL. I don't know why, unless it's going to be dangerous amounts of snow. But it's Buffalo. They get snow all the time, so I don't get that. That's new to me. Okay. Yeah, I'm picking Mike, I guess. Let's go to your game, Todd. You versus Rick. Tell me your thoughts on your chances here.
Maybe I should stop picking my team. Nah. Even with the snowstorm that I thought was going to happen and no longer impacts Gabe Davis, I still like my team's odds. Unless Derrick Henry embarrasses me tonight with a 225 3-touchdown performance, I think I got the win. We stopped the run game late last season. Henry had 50 yards in that game. It was a snowy affair in Green Bay. It's cold. I don't think the Titans are ready for it. I'm hoping at least if Henry blows me up this Thursday, then Rick is probably going to have it, because at this point my team is targeting 100 points per week. We're not trying to blow teams out of the water. We're just trying to do enough, and if anyone has a breakout performance, it's really going to be tough to combat.
Yeah, I understand everything you're saying, Todd. I think that's super legit to say about Derrick Henry. You really just never know when he's going to go off. Luckily, I think your team is going to have just enough to pull out the victory. Obviously, Gabe Davis, now that he's not playing in 2 feet of snow, he could have a 3-touchdown game in Detroit. Who knows? I also really like the Jets' defense against New England, and I really like Jalen Hurts against Indy. I think they're going to have big games. So, I think your team gets the dub here. Dave versus Forrest is our next game. Could be a big day for Devin Singletary and the Bills defense. Oops. I wrote that when I thought that the game was going to be in Buffalo. Is it going to be a big game in Detroit? I have no fucking idea. I picked Dave in this one. I guess I'm sticking with it. What are your thoughts, Todd?
Yeah, I've got Dave as well. His team is finally back to health, but seemingly too little too late. Maybe it's a shootout for Herbert against Kansas City, but I don't see how Forrest will be able to keep up with Dave this week. Dave's current starters have averaged 108 points per game compared to Forrest's starters at 91.37. So if everything holds constant, Forrest doesn't have a chance.
Yeah. And at the bottom of the barrel, it is Neil versus Hoyle, another team that has been technically eliminated from the playoffs. Neil taking on Hoyle. Todd, I mean, was it 4 or 5 weeks ago, we were saying never pick Hoyle ever again. He's got the worst team ever. He's got 4 victories in a row. I would be a fool to pick against him here. Hoyle gets win number 5. What do you think?
Well, Ryan, we talked about Adam Thielen earlier and Hawkinson stealing target shares. And Hoyle is having to start both Adam Thielen and Justin Jefferson. I think they're playing against the Cowboys this week, and that's not going to be good for them. You know, candidly, I would pick Hoyle if I hadn't said I would never again. But I'm picking Neil. I can't do it, Hoyle. You've slandered me. You've proven me wrong. But I'm still not going to pick you. So, Neil, you got the win here. And this is also my game of the week, Ryan. I don't think we've given enough airtime to Neil. So I want him to feel a little bit of the love and let him know that he's up 5-4 all time against Hoyle. So I have faith in you, Neil.
Todd, you realize what you're doing? You're putting the Fox A team on a D- tier game. I mean, do you really want to do that? Do you really want to make this the game of the week? Force America to watch this trash heap?
This is the podcast of the people, Ryan. I got to give them what they want, and they want Neil this week.
All right, Sir Lennon. Got you. Absolutely. Moving on, bold predictions. I know you have one, Todd. I outsourced my bold prediction this week, and it comes from our friend of the show, Mike Simpson. He says Kenny Pickett and Joe Burrow will have a combined 800 passing yards this week. I am going with that as my bold prediction. It is truly bold. I don't necessarily think it will happen, but hey, bold prediction is the name of the game. We're going bold. I appreciate his contribution, and we're sticking with it. That's my pick. What's your bold prediction?
Well, Ryan, so I don't think Kenny Pickett can throw for 400 yards. Maybe he gets 350. Maybe Burrow gets 450. Man, I don't know how that's going to happen. I hope Mike is putting some money on this in Vegas because that's got to be like plus 20,000 odds.
Oh, yeah. He's going to become a millionaire if that prediction comes true.
For my bold prediction this week, I'm going back to Mike Simpson's bench. I'm calling for Pacheco to have a breakout week this week and finish as an RB1 with 120 yards and 1 touchdown.
No weekly wager this week, so that's pretty much the end of the episode. I did want to get your thoughts here before we go, Todd. I know you're a Hard Knocks guy. I got into Hard Knocks this season. I was really invested in the Detroit Lions. I would have paid money to see that series go into the regular season. I love Dan Campbell. I love some of the guys there who they highlighted. Now they are focused on the Arizona Cardinals. Not as exciting in my opinion, but I have seen the first 2 episodes. First off, what did you think of Colt McCoy's performance last week, leading the Cards to victory? And, have you seen the new season? What do you think?
I haven't started watching it yet. It's on my to-do list. I might be able to get to it this weekend, hopefully. I'm excited for it. I'm proud of Colt. He's been on Hard Knocks more than once. He's definitely been a backup QB for a couple teams that have earned the honor to be on Hard Knocks. I'm excited for him. Anytime, the little guy gets a win. I didn't get to see much of the game. I saw a couple highlights, but I don't know. I don't have many thoughts on it, honestly.
Perfect timing.
What's up, dudes?
Dude? All right, we've got a trivia segment this week, and we've got a special guest in the building, friend of the show, fellow Buffalo boy, and former owner orientation guest, Mike S. is in the building, ladies and gentlemen. Mike, how are you, man?
What's up? I'm good.
Good.
This week's trivia is, can you name the top 5 wide receivers in terms of percentage of throws deemed as off-target throws to them?
I think I actually know the top I know the top two for sure.
Let's start off with Vegas, just an awful, awful football team. Mac Hollins.
Nope. Strike one.
Okay.
That would be Tyreek Hill.
Nope.
What? They.
Look at this guy.
I think you're lying.
All confident.
I literally posted this in the group me. Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle were number 1 and number 2 in uncatchable balls in the NFL.
Not uncatchable, off target.
Oh, okay.
I don't know I can't tell you what the uncatchable metric was, like who defined the parameters, so hard for me to say.
Gotcha. All right, I'm gonna have to think about it a little differently then.
Yeah.
Do tight
so, like,
do tight ends count?
Yeah, they do. One point of note for you guys is there's in terms of off-target throws, about 50% of the off-target throws end up getting caught, so they're not completely uncatchable.
I'm gonna say Kyle Pitts.
He's number 1.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you have a guess at how many of his throws are, or what percentage of his throws are off-target?
I'm gonna guess it's over 50% based on how many games of his that I've watched this season.
The metric is 30%, and he leads the way at number 1.
Okay, 30%.
All right, 4 more. Ryan, who do you got?
Give me D-Hop. DeAndre Hopkins.
Nope. I mean, he's only got 2 games, so
Oh, duh. That was stupid.
low sample
Okay.
size.
Yeah.
DJ Moore.
Number 2, well done. He's got 24% of his targets are off target.
Rolling. Did someone say Adam Thielen?
He is not in the top 10, even.
Hmm.
Kirk is too good. You should know that, Ryan.
Kirk is too good. We can't be slandering Kirk. His balls are always on target. In before Justin Jefferson's number 3.
Do we want any hints?
I mean, always.
Not yet. Not
Oh,
yet.
okay.
Not yet. I'm gonna guess one more. Let's go. All right, I'll go back to what I said earlier. I'll go Jalen Waddle.
It is
See.
not Waddle either. Mike has somewhat of a affinity towards or personal connection with 2 of the remaining receivers.
Oh,
2 of them.
hold on. Okay. Let me just get one. Terry McLaurin.
Terry is not on the list, actually.
All right. Well, one is very obviously Allen Robinson.
It's
gotta be.
actually not Robinson either.
Oh my God, that's the only wide receiver I would say that I have a tendency towards.
He was a teammate of Allen Robinson, though.
Mooney,
Yep. Mooney comes in at number 5.
George Pickens.
It is not George Pickens, but he is 13th on the list for those curious at home. Last guess, Ryan. Who do you got?
I mean, I said Curtis Samuel before as my second Redskins guy. No idea.
You had the right thought, though. You had the right thought. Last guess, Mike.
Take it home.
Michael Pittman.
It is not. And that wraps up y'all's guesses. You got 60%, so I'm proud of you. The remaining top 5 is Jahan Dotson at number 3 with 23%.
Really?
And Marvin Jones, curiously, at 21%. Part 2. Which of those wide receivers has a catch rate of more than 60% despite their off-target throws?
I think I know the answer to this.
Go ahead.
I think it's Dotson.
It is actually Darnell Mooney. He catches 68% of his targets despite having 21% of them be off target.
Wow.
Thanks for joining, Mike.
Mike, I want to know your thoughts of the Browns and Bills game being moved to Detroit. Because, like, I love football in the snow. I think it's kind of bullshit that they've moved it. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with you. I love snow football.
Yeah.
One of my favorite games that I've ever watched was a few years back when LaShawn McCoy was on the Bills, and he ran for he just absolutely torched whoever they were playing. I can't even remember, but I think it might have been the Patriots, and he went for 160 yards and 2 or 3 touchdowns. not only because he was on my fantasy team, but it was just so funny to watch them just like run through snow that was like up to their shins.
Oh yeah, no, it's great, man. I mean, yeah, like I remember many Bills games, many Browns games, games in Lambeau where it's just coming down. I mean, it looks so fun. I mean, that's like on my bucket list,
Yeah.
just going to one of those games.
Yeah, I've actually played football in the snow in a stadium before. I don't want to say we broke into the stadium, but at App, we literally just walked down on the field. I mean, you can just do that. People do that all the time because it's turf. You can't really turn it up.
Yeah.
So we just walked out and played football in the snow. It was dope.
That's fun. Pretty good coverage there. Like lots of
Oh,
snow.
yeah. Oh yeah, it was probably like 4 or 5 inches when we went out
Wow,
there.
that's good. I mean, I'm like just looking at the group me now. I guess they're projecting 6 feet. I mean, that's insane.
Dude, they should just play in it.
Right. Dude.
6 feet.
Literally.
It gives those who are above 6 feet an advantage. So they should just play.
Yeah, the whole secondary, like you're just not going to be able to see them. They're going to be like under snow. Just
Yeah. Make them dig like tunnels instead of like running plays.
Exactly.
That'd be fun.
Well, Ryan, another great episode in the books. We want to thank everyone for listening this week. We are off for Thanksgiving, but we will be back with you shortly. And remember, don't get buffaloed.